Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all participants joining us today for the WSIS Forum 2023 Hackathon, DigitalGov Hack, for our high-level dialogue with the experts. This hackathon is organized in close collaboration with the International Telecommunication Union and the Digital Government Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We would like to thank the great number of participants, the Hackers for Good, who are currently hacking to find innovative solutions to modernize the public sector. We are pleased that this online hackathon is bringing stakeholders from all over the world to hack together in teams of 2 to 5 members. In fact, we have registrations from more than 30 countries till date, and we are hoping for many more. And without any further delay, I'd like to invite, I believe Mr. Malcolm Johnson, our Deputy Secretary General, is having some troubles. If Tala and Mike could please help him to get into the room. It's asking him to register. So if you could please resend the direct link to Mr. Johnson. In the meanwhile, we would like to invite Mr. Al Mahdi, the CEO of Innovation and Emerging Technology, Center of DGA, to please give his remarks. Over to you, Mr. Al Mahdi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Jitangli. Hello, everyone, and greetings from Saudi Arabia. It's an honor and a privilege to participate in this dialogue. Before I can participate in this dialogue, please allow me to thank our partner ITU and WSIS Forum for co-organizing this high-level dialogue session. Also for co-organizing the DigitalGov Hackathon that my colleagues will talk about later. The theme of this hackathon reflects the humanistic vision of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the deep commitments to solve the challenges worldwide for the better of humankind. And to get to the right dialogue that we want to talk about today, I found it very important, as you know, the roles and the requirements of the government have growing since their founding. The government, I mean any government, need to evolve and improve continuously, not only to keep aligned with the rising new challenges, but also because they need to redesign in a way citizen and all beneficiaries should be at the center and not other way around. I think the new generation value now and more than ever looking for the experiences and sustainabilities. As you know, it's essential for them and for us as a government to listen to the new generation and to continue reshaping and designing, let's say, new, I would say, human-centric government services. All these are aligned with the Saudi Vision 2030, which is announced by His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. This vision is not about investing in the future of our kingdom, but it's also investing in a better future for all humankind. So this investment in the future is investment in citizen, education, health, and environment. So this needs to continue participating in this hackathon, a modern and a digital agile government that's work for the citizen and for the private sector and also for the plants as well. This is why, as a government of Saudi Arabia, we are starting to invest heavily in the GovTech. I think it's not only important, but also an urgent for us because we need to do it collectively, making sure that we are always putting the citizen at the center. This is what we have been done at the Digital Saudi Initiative. It's an umbrella. We're trying to handle all the initiative for the digitizations in the government challenges. And our aim today to provide a world-class and let's say a relevant and timely services to our citizens, while we are optimizing the performance and ensuring the transparency and the accountability that for delivering the best user experience to the main customers. And this best user experience, it will be through a proactive and a personalized services in our country and worldwide, as well as we are trying and aiming to help our peer government in the region and around the world to achieve the same goal, which is by sharing the experience and the knowledge with them. It's very important to know that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has experienced, let's say, a constant improvement in our journey for digital transformation. Today, we are ranked the 31st in the most recent e-government development index released by the UN, which is up from the 90 in the 2004. We aiming to be among the top 5 by 2030. Also, we are estimating the demand for our government entities for the communication services and information and emerging technology to be around 25 billion by 2025. It's a huge opportunity, but also a great, let's say, challenge. So this collaboration with the young innovators in Saudi Arabia and also worldwide will put the innovation and the GovTech into an action. So I think this is a good opportunities for all innovators and the private sectors and the startups to create something new to the world. How this will be something new to the world? It's by helping to build the future of the digital government services that ensuring the better future for all of us as a human. With this, I can conclude my remark. Thank you, Jitangli, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Al-Mayadi. Of course, you've highlighted the importance of this hackathon, which just shows, with the number of participants we have who are joining us today, we have more than 80 people with us in the room and many more following through our Facebook Live session. So thank you so much for this good collaboration. I would like to take this opportunity also to remind everybody that registrations for our DigitalGov hack are open and hackers have until the 4th of December to submit their proof of concepts. So please do join in and hack for good. We now joined by our Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Malcolm Johnson. Good afternoon, Malcolm, and welcome. I'd like to please hand over the floor to you for your opening remarks. Over to you, Malcolm.
Thank you very much, Gitanjali. And let me add my welcome to everyone for joining this high-level dialogue. Many thanks to Mr. Al-Mayadi for his introduction and his great support and collaboration on our preparations for this very important hackathon, which, as he says, I'm sure is going to help us to advance the digital economy worldwide by leveraging emerging technologies, especially to help with the government services. And it's very nice to see that we already have so many registered for this hackathon. I believe over 750 already from around the world. So many thanks to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has been a great supporter of the WSIS process ever since its inception, and we're extremely grateful for this support. Digital transformation is a strategic focus now for most public and private organizations. Countries are looking to digital government strategies and technologies to transform themselves and the way they do business, to improve how they operate, how to deliver public services, how to engage with stakeholders, and how to provide impactful citizen-centric solutions making sure we leave no one behind. And to help these efforts, ITU's initiative called GovStack aims to help develop specifications for reusable software components called building blocks that can inform design in various e-government services. Successful e-government services, of course, require public, private, and civil society organizations to work together. And so this initiative is open to all stakeholders, and more information can be found on this on the ITU website. Following the request of WSIS stakeholders, this year's WSIS Forum, or next year's WSIS Forum 2023, which starts on the 13th of March, will include, in addition to DigitalGov Hackathon, a series of initiatives around digital public services. And this includes a new special track addressing digital public services and digital citizenship, and a WSIS special prize on digital service design. So I invite you all to contribute to these efforts to make government services more citizen-orientated, and wish good luck to all those participating in the hackathon. Thank you very much. Back to you, Gitanjali.
Thank you very much, Malcolm, and thank you so much for joining us today and for motivating us as usual. There are many of our participants here today who are very encouraged to see you here. We have our friends from Morocco, from Saudi, from India, from Australia, many from Africa. So thank you so much, Malcolm. And without any other further delay, I'd like to hand over to Hanan, who is the co-moderator for today's session. Over to you, Hanan.
Thank you so much, Gitanjali. Okay, I know I'm going to go ahead and welcome Mr. Pritam Malur. He is the head of Emerging Technology Division at ITU. Mr. Malur, I'm glad to have you here with us. Could you please highlight the latest emerging technology trends and how a government can engage with ITU so they can benefit from the opportunities and mitigate the risk?
Thank you, Hanan, and good afternoon, DSG Malcolm Johnson, and good afternoon, everyone. And it's such a pleasure for me to join this session. So coming to your question, we have several new and emerging technologies. All of them are quite well known, like AI, 5G, IoTs, quantum, neurotech, and then they've all opened up new possibilities for tackling some of the world's major challenges. And some of these technologies, especially AI, are being used even throughout the UN system, to accelerate progress in critical areas such as climate change, poverty, energy, education, health, many of these. And it's quite obvious why. The kind of intelligent decision-making that machine learning helps with, the minimum latency real-time communication capabilities that 5G allows, and now 6G, which is in the works at the ITU. The kind of pervasive, ubiquitous computing that IoT allows, the kind of secure environments, that digital ledger technologies provide. And of course, the entirely new level of computing platforms that quantum will usher in. These technologies will allow creation of new technology environments that may be way beyond what we have today. We're already seeing a glimpse of it through the metaverse effort, an environment that's coming together of many of these breakthrough technologies that will form the backbone of our Web 3.0. So having said this, ITU as the UN specialized agency for ICTs is playing an important role in leading this UN-wide effort. What we are doing is we are taking a holistic look at many of these technologies together as a bouquet, for lack of a better term, and so that they can be used for the greater good. So we are looking at the opportunities and also the challenges. And there are many challenges that we should consider when governments are looking at these technologies. One is the connectivity gap, of course. 2.9 billion people are still offline. The basic infrastructure gap is our greatest challenge. And the technology capacity gap, especially in emerging technologies, between the more and the less developed countries,
is a significant risk. And ITU, rest assured, is placing great importance in bridging this gap. There are many other challenges. Data privacy and security is obviously a challenge. Bias in decision making, especially when it comes to AI, is one of the a key challenge. Then you're looking at societal risks, abuse or population at risk, such as children in cyberspace, is already a menace that we are aware of. Now we are seeing this being played out in the metaverse. We need to have guardrails in place to prevent this misuse. Data availability is a big challenge. A lot of the emerging tech is data driven, and many of the countries that require this kind of technology are also the countries that may not be generating data for their own purposes. So that's a big challenge. Trust and explainability is a challenge. Many of these deep learning algorithms are black boxes, and there's a debate on how do we overcome this. Limited know-how for some of these emerging technologies. There's just a limited pool of experts who know how to apply these technologies. So skills learning is a key issue. Equitable use, access and use of these technologies is a key issue. So, ITU, in collaboration with our UN partners, we're offering several platforms for governments to engage in and to understand some of these risks and challenges, to have discussions around policies and regulations, around interoperable standards, around capacity building, sharing of best practices. And here, let me point out to a few platforms that you can engage in. The WSIS Forum, of course, which is the largest ICT4D platform in the world, which convenes conversations around the impact of emerging technologies on development. We've had over the years very impactful conversations on AI, on quantum, on all of these emerging technologies, how they can be leveraged for the greater good, and what we should be wary about here. We also have more specialized platforms such as the ITU's AI for Good platform, which we convene with 40 UN agencies, bringing together innovators, policy people, experts from around the world to talk about concrete projects. We also convene multi-stakeholder communities in other formats. For example, our standards work on 5G, of course, which is a ITU standard, and 6G, which we are working on. We have standards groups on IoTs and smart cities and communities. We also have more flexible groups on, where anyone is allowed. We have groups on quantum. We have groups on AI and health with WHO, on AI for disaster management with the WMO and UNEP, other UN agencies. We have many of these, a group on autonomous and assisted driving. So we have quite a few of these emerging technologies groups where, stakeholders can engage in. We do a lot of our work in partnership with other UN agencies. ITU co-chairs the UN Interagency Working Group on Emerging Technologies with UNESCO, with 45 agencies and bodies as members. It's an internal coordination mechanism. So just to conclude, we have many avenues for member states and all other stakeholder groups to engage with the ITU. And I invite all of you participating in this initiative to please do so. And if you need to, find out how, please contact the WSIS team and they'll guide you towards us. Thank you.
Thank you, Preetam, for highlighting some of these really current and emerging technologies. Not only the opportunities they bring, but also the challenges that we should be aware of. So we invite all the hackers to also have this holistic approach while they're developing their projects, and also focus on the application, the capacity building, and so on and so forth. So thank you so much. We'd now like to move to Mr. Al-Zarini. He's the Director of Emerging Technologies and Business Models. Mr. Muat, welcome. Can you share with us some more details about what the Digital Government Authority is doing, the work that you're doing, and how are you supporting the adoption of emerging technologies with government entities and e-government digital services? Over to you, Muat.
Thank you, Gitanjali. Hello, everyone. I'd like to start by re-thanking our partners at WSIS for setting up this hackathon, which will benefit all of us. We anticipate great solutions to come out of it that we're actually going to apply within the government. So I'm sure many participants and hackers are interested to know what DGA is and our main role is. So the Digital Government Authority is a newly established government entity, less than 2 years old. It was established by royal mandate to overlook digital transformation and digital services in the government sector as a whole. So our vision is to be a pioneering digital government that is enabled to be a vibrant nation. We have a few pillars that we focus on. Some of them might be the obvious ones. So we look at G2C services, government to citizen services, government to business, and government to government. We also look at efficient investment in the government and, of course, regulations and policies to guide the public sector on how to use these new technologies and how to digitally transform. And the pillar that we are more interested on today, which is the expedited transformation, it's where all the innovation part comes in. So we are driven by this pillar today. We are looking for futuristic solutions, for new solutions that can be of great benefit. So our mission is to achieve a seamless and integrated digital government services by leveraging the value of technologies and placing beneficiaries at the heart of delivery. So by integrated, we mean efficient data sharing between the government, efficient service integration between government agencies that are related to each other. Technologies, it can range from classic technologies that we consider now, like cloud, for example, and also for emerging technologies, IoT, blockchain, and so on. And of course, it was already mentioned in this session that beneficiaries are always the ultimate goal. So all these services are going to be enhanced by technologies to benefit the citizens, the residents, the final beneficiary. We are driven by a few targets. We started, of course, from the Saudi Vision 2030, which we mentioned earlier. We also like to keep track of the quality of the life of beneficiary satisfaction within Saudi Arabia and for government services. So our goal is to have 80% or increase in quality of life in the government sector by 2025, 90% increase in satisfied beneficiaries by 2025. We, of course, look at things to enable business, like ease of doing business. We want to be within the top 20 countries by 2025. You may have heard about Vision 2030, but for us, we are moving in an extremely fast pace that we are setting our targets for 2025 first before moving on to 2030. Other goals we are setting for ourselves is for e-participation index to be the 39th by 2025. Environment impact is also something we try to look at and enhance increase within the government. And finally, we want to be within the top 10 countries for the e-government index by 2030. And it was just announced this year that we actually moved up many ranking spots, which is good for us. We are hopefully in the right track, and hopefully we'll be in the top 10 even before 2030. So other than Vision 2030, our goals and our strategies are always aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. In the Innovation Center, we'd like to think that all technologies can contribute to all 17 SDGs, whether it's quality education, life below the water. We have some use cases we're doing with Ministry of Water and Agriculture. So we'd like to think everything we do fits within these 17 SDGs, but more importantly, the strategy for DGA, Digital Government Authority as a whole, and not just Innovation Center, focuses on, or heavily focuses on these 8 SDGs. Good health and well-being, quality education, which is a non-stop work. It enhanced a lot during COVID with remote work and remote schools, but we already had if I can say it, great infrastructure that allowed us to continue the education process during COVID without many setbacks. Decent work and economic growth, leveraging technologies and government services, sustainable cities and communities, climate action fits into everything we want to do with smart cities and all the applications of technologies that can be used within the government. Finally, partnerships for the goals. We are doing a lot of work of partnerships with other countries to learn from shared experiences, to also have partnerships that can have actual benefits for both sides. We leverage international innovation labs, and one partnership is this with ITU and WSIS as well. In addition, we also published our Saudi digital, our Saudi digital economy policy. It was published around 2 years ago. It had 7 main pillars: social prosperity and inclusion, trust in the digital ecosystem, which is a major one for us, open markets, human capital, innovation, technology adoption and use. At the Innovation Center, we focus on technology adoption and use and innovation, which is also something we're looking for in the solutions that are going to be presented from the participants. Are these solutions innovative? Is it something new? Is it going to increase efficiency? Is it going to lower costs? Is it going to increase the service delivery to the end customer from each government entity or from the digital government as a whole? So technology use, technology adoption and use, and innovation are the 2 biggest factors we are looking for. And now going a level deeper to the Center of Innovation and Emerging Technologies within DGA, our vision is to empower, accelerate, and shape the future. We empower government employees, public sector employees, by offering them courses for digital skills enablement. We empower government entities by offering and showcasing new technologies and solutions, accelerating the adoption of emerging technologies within the government by testing out prototypes, by designing MVPs, minimum viable projects, to look at these new technologies and their effect in the government. And eventually we shape the future by setting up policies and regulation that enables the public sector to use these technologies. The Center of Innovation and Emerging Tech has 5 main capabilities: government awards. We always try to keep up with international indices. We like to showcase what the government is doing. And when I say government, not just DGA, it's any public sector entity. We participate in international awards by use of our technologies. Innovation and experience design looks at digital experiences of users of digital services. Any enhancement that can be done to transform these experiences into a digital efficient experience. Emerging technology and business model, we focus on a family of emerging technologies and how to implement them and increase the adoption within the government. Consulting and studies is a capability we offer to government entities where we conduct studies, where we review strategies and help support government entities in setting up their strategies and their projects. Finally, digital skills. They offer many programs that work on digital skills for public sector employees. They have courses that go on almost every week, and we're seeing a lot of impact from these courses. So these are the 5 major functions of the Center of Innovation and Emerging Tech. Going back to emerging technologies, what do we consider as an emerging technology? It has to be still developing. It has to have a radical novelty that people are still testing out and coming up with new use cases and new solutions using them. So any technology that we think is going to be mature from 5 to 10 years is an emerging technology. We also look at technologies that are fast growing, like IoT and blockchain. Augmented reality and immersive experiences are still growing, and we are finding out new studies, new models, new use cases and experiences almost on a weekly basis. We look at the impact, how these can actually enhance either the quality of life or service delivery from the government. We also look at interconnection of these technologies and how they can work with each other. So right now we put a huge focus on IoT, on immersive tech, robotics, AI, and blockchain. That doesn't mean we don't look at other technologies, but we look at these 5 technologies and the intersections between them. So we like to maybe merge immersive tech and AI and look at all the metaverse applications, robotics and AI and all the Industry 4.0 applications. I don't need to go through the definitions because everyone here today is for the hackathon and they already know what these technologies are. but we have use cases in all of these technologies, working it with the government, but we are always exploring and looking for new solutions that can enhance service delivery. And that's it for the intro to Digital Government Authority and to the Center of Emerging Technologies. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Muad, for the insightful presentation. It's clear that a great effort has been made recently in Saudi Arabia when it comes to GovTech and digital government. And as you said, with these ambitious goals, partnerships and collaboration with global and local innovators have become essential to build scalable and sustainable government services. So now let's welcome our next speaker, Mr. Hani Iskander. He's the head of Digital Services Division at ITU. Mr. Hani, we are pleased to have you join us today. Can you highlight some of the ITU's latest project related to accelerating digital transformation and digitalization of the government services for the achievement of the 17 SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals? Also, what does it take to make a small project scalable and replicable one?
Thank you very much, Hanan, and good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm really very glad to be part of this panel, and more importantly, I'm very glad that we have launched this very important hackathon, because indeed government services are becoming more and more in demand. As you probably know, many countries are still unfortunately low on their GovTech maturity index, and the level of maturity of digital government services are still at very early stages in many parts of the world. And the governments are now having, the desire and the need to accelerate their digital government digitalization efforts, and to bring more and more government services to citizens, particularly that citizens now are also demanding those types of services. They see how they are getting, very, advanced services from the private sector, from, on internet, etc. And now they are raising their expectation to get the same level of services from the government. And now we are really talking about moving to the second generation of government services that are truly presenceless, that citizens don't need to go to the government office, that cashless, paperless, very much respecting your privacy, meaning they should be consent-based, and really where the information is freely flowing across different government departments, so that the citizen himself or herself doesn't need to, move from one government department to the other. So this is a lot of expectation, a lot of, pressure on governments. But unfortunately, even despite the huge investment that has been done in this space, there are still some challenges. As you know, digitizing a government service is not just developing an application and just make it available. The whole approach of rethinking how the government services that are already delivered today in our analog world should be transformed and should be redesigned and reconceived in the digital era. And this process really requires a lot of leadership, a lot of governance, a lot of skills, a lot of change management, and a lot of technology enablers as well. And also, as we know, there are a lot of, the way the government is structured doesn't help really, because every government department, every ministry, they are managing their own kind of investments, and they are building their own systems with no way that those systems can exchange data, etc. So there are some key things that needs to happen so that we can enable this kind of second generation of digital government services, how you build trust, how you build interoperability, and how you build skills in designing new digital government services. And this is part of what ITU is engaged in now. So we are part of a global initiative called the GovStack. Mr. Malcolm Johnson, ITU Deputy Secretary General, alluded to it earlier, which is really a partnership that really addresses some of those challenges. So what we are trying to do in partnership with other partners, including Estonia Germany, GIZ, and DIAL, and so many other stakeholders, that we are trying to provide a way and tools and resources that can accelerate government digitalization. And the way we are doing this is very much based on research that ITU published in 2018, which we call the Digital Investment Framework. I'm going to put the link on the chat now, and I'm really encouraging all hackers to really consult the few resources that I'm going to paste in the chat. So it gives them some good insights when thinking of designing new services for the future. One of the most important things, how you crack a very hard nut, which is the interoperability. Because if you don't enable interoperability, it will be very difficult to design, modern government services. So you need to adopt a new way of building systems. A kind of business as usual cannot continue. So the researches that we have done, which we call the SDG, Digital Investment Framework, identified that while the services can look differently from the front end, the back end, there are some commonalities in terms of capabilities that are very common. And this is capabilities, we're calling them building blocks, meaning that instead of you trying to develop each solution from scratch, you need to have some sort of reusable and shareable services or building blocks that are designed and invested and built once, and then you don't have to reinvent the wheel each time. And there are so many different examples of those building blocks around payments, around digital ID, about consent management, about security, about workflow, about content management. There are between 20 and 30 type of capabilities that are very common, that you don't need to reinvent the wheel and really apply the only once principle, just build it once and reuse it forever. So the GovStack initiative is trying to identify those building blocks and provide some open specification for them, meaning how you build up this capability, and more importantly, how you make this capability secure by design, interoperable by design, how you define all the open APIs, how you make sure that it's really reusable and can interconnect with other types of building blocks and can be used to build services. So the GovStack is providing those types of specification. And again, I'm going to paste the link for reading those types of specification. I think it will give some good ideas how you design modular component-based type of services, which is for me is a very important criteria for scaling up. Unless you do kind of adopt this reusability, etc., it will be very difficult to replicate. The other big component, and again, I'm going to paste the link, that we have developed some sort of a playbook, how you go about digital government service design in a way that it's user-centric and in a way that really responds to this new concept around what we call life events, meaning there is a new birth. This should trigger several government services immediately and really provide a package of services to the citizen based on those life events. So those are all new trends that are important to consider when designing, digital government services. And finally, we are building a sandbox, which is a learning and kind of piloting and experimenting environment where you can come and build up services by leveraging existing building blocks, etc. So I really encourage hackers to kind of take some time to look at those types of resources. I'm going to paste the links immediately now. Particularly the digital government service design, what we call the GovStack playbook, because this we can give them some insights, about how you design really services that would not be just used for one little service, but could also be reused and replicated and scaled to serve so many other services. I'll stop here and I'll be very willing and happy to take some questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hani, and I hope the participants and the hackers were listening carefully, that there's so many things Hani highlighted. Accessibility, whatever you're designing should be accessible to older persons, to people with disabilities, to children. Then the whole concept of it being cross-sectoral. Nowadays, we're working with digital digital citizenship for so many things, for clean technologies, for schools, for education, for health. So please do think of this holistic approach, and our brilliant judges and mentors, of course, Hani and Preetham from ITU, and Moat and Hanan and others, of course, Mr. Abdul Mohsin from DGA. They are always there to guide us and to provide mentorship towards this hackathon. So now I think it's the real exciting time to learn more about the hackathon itself. Our colleagues Tala and Hanan have been having weekly meetings with Hacker Earth, making sure that this hackathon is doing so well, and then we can outreach. We have a huge outreach to people all over the world to participate in it. So Hanan, everybody is excited to hear what is the process we put in place, what are deadlines, and of course, what are the exciting prizes that the participants are going to win at the completion of the hackathon. Over to you, Hanan.
Thank you, Jitendra. Let me share my screen. So in this presentation, I'll walk you through the hackathon tracks, the rules and timeline. Also, we'll be going over the prizes and everything you need to know in order to be successful at this hackathon. DigitalGov Hackathon is organized by the Digital Government Authority of Saudi Arabia and WSIS Forum 2023 in collaboration with other stakeholders. It's a global virtual hackathon, and there will be so many interactive webinars and workshops. Also, there will be so many experts you can engage with virtually. Our target audience are the worldwide innovation community who can contribute to reshaping the government and public services of tomorrow, and globally advancing the digital economies by leveraging emerging technologies. The hackathon has 4 tracks. We will go over them in the next slide, and we will have one winner for each track. So for the hackathon tracks, we have 4 challenges areas in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goals and the WSIS action lines. The first track is immersive public services. It's mainly about reimagining the future of public services delivery using immersive technologies such as AR, VR, MR, and the metaverse. The second track is empowering young talent. It's for the solution that can provide high quality education and employment opportunity for the upcoming youth. The third track, productivity in public workplaces, is for the solution that foster innovation culture and ensure better productivity in workplaces. And the last track is financial sustainability. It's for the solution that create opportunities for public-private partnerships and optimizing the operational and maintenance costs in government agencies. These are the 4 tracks in brief. You will find more details about each track in the hackathon platform. Also, I would like to emphasize that each team can participate in more than one track, but only one submission for each track is accepted. I also want to highlight that all the submitted solutions should have should solve the challenge using one or more emerging technology listed in this slide, such as AI, IoT, robotics, immersive technologies, and blockchain. And for the deliverables, your submission must have 4 mandatory parts. The first one is the project description, which include the problem statement and the scope of the solution. The second part is the presentation, including the details that required in our submission guideline in the hackathon platform. The third one is the recorded video to pitch your idea to the judges. And finally, the prototype or the code in GitHub. Although it's not mandatory to provide the code, but a prototype or mockup would be acceptable. So to increase your chance of winning, we encourage you to be in a team of at least 2 members. The hackathon platform allows you to build a team or join an existing team by sending an invitation request to each other. Also, remember that you can always update your solution before the deadline of the hackathon, which is the end of December 4th. And finally, please be advised that incomplete submissions will be automatically disqualified from the hackathon. So for the roadmap of the DigitalGov Hackathon, we kicked off the hackathon on October 23rd, and the registration and submission will be open until the deadline of the hackathon on December 4th. During this time, we will run 2 webinars. One will be during this week, this Thursday on 17th, and the other one will be on 24th of November. And we will have 1 workshop on 29th. So we will host during these webinars and workshops, we will host international experts who will talk about the technology trends, the challenges and opportunities, which will help the hackers to refine their ideas. Also, I would like to say that participants who are going to submit their solution before the 29th, before our workshop, they will have access to coaching session with mentors during the workshop on the 29th. So pay attention to your inbox. And finally, the winners will be announced mid of January. And for the most exciting part, the prizes, there will be 4 winning teams, 1 team for each track, and the winner will receive monetary prize as well as 6-month mentoring from international experts from our global partner and GovTech to implement their solutions. Finally, if you have any questions, please add them in the chat, and we will be able to answer them during the Q&A at the end. So any question we can't get to today can be answered in the discussion page of the Hackathon platform. Here's the QR code for the Hackathon platform. And yeah, you can use the chat feature to post your question. And now let me welcome our next speaker, Mr. Mandar from Hacker Earth, who will give a quick demo on the Hackathon platform. So over to you, Mandar.
Thank you so much, Hanan, and thank you so much everybody who has joined today. We see significant people in the participants, and this gives me really immense pleasure. And my name is Mandar Talegaonkar. I'm representing Hacker Earth. I work with the customer success team, and I will be presenting to you in quick 3 to 4 minutes how the platform works, on how you can build your team and how you can submit your project. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see the screen.
All right. So I believe all of you have already registered on this particular hackathon. If not, we are constantly sharing, we are constantly promoting the hackathon to the community and to everybody. And to also who have registered on the hackathon platform, we are sending reminders for different sessions like this, and we are also sending reminders on how to build teams, or you should build teams like that. So you will be getting this particular hackathon link also. So once you land on this particular page, which is the hackathon website, this is how it looks like. So I'm sure you are familiar with that, but this is how normal hackathons look like, with a cover, with the major timeline, as you can see. And as you scroll down, you can see all the overview section, as Hanan has already mentioned, all the 4 tracks and the themes that you can, on which you have to work on the solution. On the left, and when you further scroll, you can see the prizes. On the left-hand side, you can see all the tabs which will be giving you all the information about the hackathon, covering overview, themes, prizes, rules of the hackathon, upcoming webinars in the workshop, the teams who have registered, you can see those as well. Further, you can see the submission guideline, which is very, very important for you, such that you can go ahead and see what all guidelines you have to make sure to follow in order to submit your solution. Once you click on this, you will be able to download the entire sample of the presentation on which you have to submit your solution. Here you can see the resource center where the links which will help you to create a good solution will be there. The FAQs, the About Us section, the judging criteria, which is important for you to also learn on what parameters and what rubrics are something on which our solutions are going to be judged. And the very, very important section, which is the discussion forum section, where you can, ask your questions and about the platform, about the tracks, about anything you feel like which is related to the hackathon. And we either me from the Hacker Earth, if it is about the platform, if it is about the solution, the admins and the stakeholders from WSIS and DJ, we'll be happy to answer them as well. So I'll just quickly take you to the registration process and the submission process. So here you can see the click to action button on for the registration. I'll quickly register myself. All right. Just a second. Okay, so here you can actually choose 3 sections: hacker with a team, solo hacker, or solo hacker who doesn't need a team, while we encourage everyone to form a team, because those teams who submit their solutions with a team will be will be eligible first for all the prizes. So I'll just quickly register myself. So once I register, the platform will ask you some, this is a skippable question, but you can actually select one of those things, that what are the skills that you feel like and what you're good at. And once done, you are all set, registered. So once you register, the click to action button, what you see register now earlier, is now replaced by submit your project and view your team. I would definitely recommend to go and view your team, because right now I'm a single person. Once you go to view your team, over here, either there are 2 options in which you can join a team. Either you can build your own teams, or you can actually join an existing team who have already registered. So in order to build your team, you have to let other people know that, hey, you know what, I'm looking for the team members. So here is a toggle button, which is very, very easy. You can just on this toggle button, so that all the people who are joined, like me, and who are single over here on the hackathon, will be able to see that, these are the team members who are looking for the team, and I can actually request you guys and request the people who are looking for the team to, take me or take you to their particular team. All right. So for building your team, you can actually give the description of your team, like, team description, team 1. I'm looking for this. I'm going to, do this idea XYZ. I'm looking for the teammates with these main skill sets, like that. It can be anything. It is editable. Once you've done it already, and the people who are looking to join your team will be able to obviously will be able to see you that you're looking for a teammate. Now here you can actually see all the participants who have registered and who are actually right now not having any teams. So you can actually invite multiple people over here. All right. There's no such limitation on how many people you can invite, because in a team you can actually form the team of 5, but you can invite as many people you want. All right, and this invitation will be going to them in an email as well, and which it will be visible over here as well. Like here you are able to see the invites and requests, correct, that you have invited. At the same time, the people who I'm inviting, like Amit, Dheeraj, Rushil, will be able to see that, you know what, I am looking forward to get into their teams. So it will be visible over here as well. Now, if you know your team member, if you know your friend or your colleague or your co-student who would like to go ahead and register, and you know the team member's email ID as well, you can actually just go ahead and enter their email ID and hit send. All right. So this was the number one tactic on how to build a team. And now, after I register, number two, which I'm going to discuss with you, is I don't want to build a team, but I want to actually join a team. So for that, I'll have to first cancel all the requests. I have to join a team, as in I don't want to build my own team, but I would rather go ahead and join somebody else's team. So you can see the second option over here, which is called join a team. And over here, as I already mentioned, everybody who will have their toggle button turned to green, you'll be able to see all the people and all the team members over here who are looking for team members. And as you can send requests, you can actually send requests over here as well to join multiple teams. All right. But once somebody has accepted your request, like in the first come first serve basis, all right, this particular, the other request will automatically get rejected because you can only join one team and obviously submit as many solutions you want. All right. I'm hoping this particular thing is absolutely okay and you have understood this. Now, once you have built your team, as I said, we are not limiting anybody who's even a single team member cannot submit. You can definitely submit, but we encourage you to definitely build a team. And to submit your project, you can click this click to action button, which is submit project. Once you have done it, all right, you just, okay, because I have, in order to submit a project, I have to, in case anybody does not accept your, team request, you can go ahead and submit your project individually as well. But in order to do that, you need to actually delete all the requests that you have sent. So I'll just decline this, number one. I'm just clearing it off. And when you go to the submit project section once again, all right, here you can see one sample submission. As you can see, this project is only for reference, how it has to be submitted. All right, and to submit a new project, it is very easy. You just go over here. You can write your project title as anything. I'm just giving a reference over here. You can actually select one of the 4 themes on which you're providing the solution. So let's say I'm selecting empowering young talent, and then I'm giving a description over here. And then after that, this is what are the frameworks that you have used. Let's say I have used Android, and you can actually use that. In case you want to also add the snapshots of how your hackathon or how your solution looks like, you can use this as well, just to, for judges to see that how your presentation snapshots or how your demo snapshots look like. Here you have to add your video link, as in, the demo link that you have to add over here. Let's say I'm just going to put any right now because you have to put your demo link. The presentation file, I'll just add any a random probable file over here. Let's say a cover photo right now because I don't have one. So you can actually add the presentation over here, and once you add the presentation, when
Mandar, excuse me, maybe we can go into all these details, during the 2 or 3 mentorship sessions that we have.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I believe we've got an idea. We have this great collaboration with Hacker Earth since 3 years. We used to do our hackathon in a physical manner. However,
Yeah.
during COVID, we were wondering, how to do it, how to reach out. So this has in fact been a permanent solution for us now that we can reach out to so many people all over the world to
Correct.
participate with us. So thanks to Vishy, CTO, I believe he could not join us today, and to you
Yeah.
for this demo. And colleagues, you can listen to Mandar during the mentorship sessions that Tala
Yeah.
has written on the chat about. Thank you, Mandar. We would like to take, please, maybe two,
Yes.
three questions because they were here and we have the experts here with us today. So Preetham, Moat, and Abdul Masen, if you could please I'm not sure. I can see Moat and Abdul Rasim. Preetham, I'm sure you're around. Hani had to leave. So very quickly, I'll just summarize the questions which are there. Yeah, Ashwini had spoken about, can you provide some details on 6G technologies? So I guess Preetham was talking about this. And then Ashwin, he's actually asking about the hackathon. I think Moat has responded to him that do you look for a lot of mini solutions that fill the gap or single solution? So Moat, maybe you can repeat for the benefit of everybody. Then Ahmed is asking, can I use technology code that a license is limited to non-commercial and scientific research purposes to provide a proof of concept? Then Edgar is asking, okay, so, and then Ashwath is asking, our solution involves blockchain as deployment over the cloud is not so feasible. So it's not entirely possible to keep our backend systems up 24/7. Will that be okay? So some of these questions from hackers who have already started. There was, of course, one from Prince who said his idea revolves around education for differently abled children. This will be really, really interesting for us colleagues, and we really, really appreciate those of you who want to focus on these kind of topics. Edgar has one more question on the part of interoperability. We can use blockchain on test nets and decentralized web servers. How polished should the final product be? So, colleagues, I'll give you a chance each and then we will close this session. Maybe we'll start with Preetham. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Thank you, Gitanjali. So how do we engage with 6G? So, ITU uses a different jargon so this 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, these are all ITU standards. And we call them by different names. For example, 5G is IMT 2020. So 6G is called IMT 2030. The work is happening in our radio communications part of the ITU because the first thing we do is allocate spectrum for 6G. Applications, and then of course all the other the interfaces and networking standards are done by our standardization bureau. So I would encourage you. So there are many different vehicles to do this, platforms to engage. We have these multi-stakeholder conversations that happen, but we also have more classical standard ways of engaging, which is through what we call as the study groups. These are the standardization groups. And study group 5 is the one which is working on 6G. So for that, typically you have to engage through the government delegation. If you are interested, if you have a good idea, we can figure out ways to help you engage with the ITU in one way or the other. Again, contact the WSIS Forum team for this, and then they will channel your request to me.
Thank you. Abdul Masen, maybe I'll pass over to you.
If you'll allow me, Abdul Mohsen, I can take this one.
Sure. Go ahead, Mohan.
The question from us, when many solutions to fill the gap or a single solution that completes maturity, we don't have a limitation. We can work with both of them. whenever we work with government entities to look at solution, we look at the whole journey. So it either fills a gap and solves a challenge, or it might even be to take advantage of an opportunity that they haven't considered yet. So of course, the more mature the solution, the better. But even smaller solutions that fill the gaps of specific challenges will also work.
Thank you so much, Moat. Colleagues, I guess we've actually run out of time. There are 2 or 3 mentoring sessions which are upcoming. Please join them. And we really thank you for being with us here today. There is one scheduled on 17th of November. So please join us for that one for all details with the mentors. And maybe for the closing, we could also invite Abdul Masen Al-Mahdi to say a few words, and then we close this session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jitendra. Actually, we're looking for these impressive solutions from all the members, and all these will be more incentives that's coming for all participants if they are willing. And this will be for the better of the humanity. I really appreciate the co-organizing from ITU and WSIS, and hope all the best for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with those words, we would like to thank all of you for being here today with us, for all of you for participating. We really encourage everyone from every region to participate in this hackathon, for the hackathon to be gender balanced, for you to come up with ideas which are really applicable, innovative, using new technology for digital governance and citizenship. You met some of our judges today. We will have many more mentors, experts who will guide you all through the way. And thank you to Hackers Earth for providing us with this platform. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all participants joining us today for the WSIS Forum 2023 Hackathon, DigitalGov Hack, for our high-level dialogue with the experts. This hackathon is